and welcome to Meri Kahan with Rishi and Kunjita. Over the last couple of weeks, Kunjita and I both had the opportunity to meet with two couples, Gunjan and Rajesh, and Sandy and Chris. And there was something about each of their stories that was unique. It was different, and we got to learn more about them as a couple. And I wanted to thank them for having the courage to share their story. सबकी कहानी में कुछ एक different चीज होती है, और हिम्मत होनी चाहिए, to share it with the rest of the world, because everybody wants to know. And there's something about each of their stories that kind of stuck out in our head, allowed us to relate to them, made them more human to us. And we found some commonalities, and we found some ways where they're so much more different than us. And there's so many things, in terms of takeaway lessons that we can learn from their story, parts of their personalities that are different from anybody else. And मुझे तो बहुत मजा आया था.
बहुत ही मजा आया था, और फिर हमने सैंडी और क्रिस से भी मिले थे, तो काफी मजा आया था. Their journey was very similar as well.
Yeah.
We always get to learn something new about each couple. And I think the biggest thing is, with us being newlyweds, it's really interesting and fun to learn about different ways each couple adjusts in their journey, so that we can take away some lessons as well and apply it to our lives. And हमने तो काफी कुछ सीखा है, so आज भी हम काफी कुछ सीखेंगे.
No, definitely. I completely agree with that. And both of the couples that we met, they've been married for several years, honestly. And we've been married for less than 2 years, and we had so much that we learned from them, and it was a worthwhile experience. So today we're going to meet with two more couples. I want to bring on this show, and I want to hear about their story. So we're going to talk with Samita and Soman and Madhuri and Gaurav. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi Smita, hi Madhuri, hi everyone, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Doing good, thank you. Thanks for joining our show today.
So,
thank you.
No, definitely. No, we're happy that you guys are here. And honestly, we'll start with Madhuri and Gaurav. We want to hear about your journey, about your story, from when you guys met, how you met, how your story progressed, and just tell us everything that you would want the audience to know about you as a couple.
Sure. You want to go ahead?
Yeah. Thank you everyone for inviting us and letting us share our story. तो मैं बताऊं माधुरी के बारे में. माधुरी मेरी जिंदगी की पहली गजल है, पहला गीत है, पहली पोयम. जो मेरी चुनिंदा 50 पोयम मैंने माधुरी के लिए लिखी, उनमें से पहली पोयम माधुरी थी. तो मैं यही कहना चाहता हूँ, जब पहली बार मैंने माधुरी को देखा तो मैंने उसको ये बोला कि तुम चांद के शौक में छत पर मत चली जाना, शहर में ईद की तारीख बदल जाएगी. तो उसको जब सबसे पहली बार लाइब्रेरी में देखा, नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न यूनिवर्सिटी में थे हम दोनों.
We met in library.
Yeah. No, I mean, go ahead.
That's incredible. Or uske baad we'll have to hear some more of your shairis and some more of your written work. That's amazing.
No,
So
honestly,
Yes.
no, go ahead, Madhuri.
So it started with, like, I was with my friend, and my roommate and my friend was her friend. So we met together in library, and then it all started. We kept meeting like more people, and then he invited me to his birthday party. So that's how it's continued, because we were in the same course at Northeastern, and then from there it all began, and here we are today together.
No, that's incredible. Wait, so what city did you guys meet in?
Boston.
In Boston.
And we were neighbors. So we lived, like, I was living in my apartment was like next to his building.
Oh wow.
So like the first.
हम लोग साथ में वर्क पे भी जाते थे, तो I made sure that मैं इसी की ट्रेन को कैच करूं.
So we used to take the Symphony, the Green Line train to work, and then so he made sure like at what time I'm taking the train. So he matched the train, and then वो भी उसी डब्बे में जाना था. So he started doing like that.
Wow.
मैं सोचा तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है जैसे मैंने 3-4 हिंदी मूवी देखी हुई है. गौरव तो डेफिनेटली हीरो था.
Exactly ऐसा ही था.
वही सेम ट्रेन पकड़ने की कोशिश है. So and the funny thing is, like, Gaurav, you've written so much poetry for Madhuri. And it reminds me of that song, मैं शायर हूँ, Tu meri shayari. From Sajan.
मेरी पहली गजल, मुझे यकीन नहीं था कि मैं गजल लिखूंगा। मैं भोपाल के एक फेमस शायर हैं बशीर बद्र, उनको सुनता था। तो उनकी मैंने एक लाइन सुनी थी कि जिस पर तुम्हारी याद के मोती सजाए रात भर, कागज वही भेजा तुम्हें, खत में लिखा कुछ भी नहीं। तो मैंने माधुरी के लिए उसमें पहली गजल की लाइन ये लिखी थी कि तू हवाओं सा फैला हुआ, मैं सरहदों का हिसाब हूँ, मैं सबक हूँ हारी जंग का, हुनर जीत तेरा गुलाम है। मीन्स शी इज स्प्रेड लाइक एनीथिंग जॉय। आई फील कि मैं बहुत कन्फाइंड था, बट शी इज लाइक हवा जो हर जगह फैली है। दैट अट्रैक्टेड मी टूवर्ड हर। तो वही मुझे काफी अच्छा लगा, एंड शी लेट मी डू व्हाटएवर आई वांट। एंड देन माधुरी के साथ रहना ऐसा लगता है कि समय का पता नहीं चलता, तो समय अच्छा हो बुरा हो, that doesn't matter. So that's the best part of this journey.
Yeah, that's amazing.
No, it is incredible, and it's like, you know, everything that Gaurav has said about Madhuri. You know, it's positive, and you know, it's loving and it's genuine. Wait, how long have you guys been married?
5 years now.
5 years, and you know, even after 5 years, to hear you say, when I started poetry, it stemmed from you, and you know, everything I sing or I write, it stems from you, and those are positive things. And after 5 years of marriage, I feel like that's a takeaway for me. That's a takeaway for any viewer, any couple that's newly married, for you to maintain that positivity and that energy towards Madhuri, and you're writing a song and you're writing poetry. I want to ask Madhuri though, like, how do you like his poetry? How do you like it when he expresses those feelings to you?
So I think there's no expression from me, because sometimes I don't even understand. So first I ask him, like, can you make me understand what's the meaning of it? And then I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great.
जब मैं तो पहली बार वॉशिंगटन डीसी में प्रपोज किया था, तो वो मना कर दी मुझे।
I told him no.
तो मैंने सोचा कि आप मना कर दो, लेकिन ऐसा करो कि बहते पानी पे ना लिख दो, तो मैं चला जाऊंगा। But then she realized कि ऐसा हो नहीं सकता, so we end up together.
Yeah. No, I mean, like so she rejected you, like, what's your initial reaction at that point, and like, what do you tell yourself in terms of खत्म हो गई कहानी है,
so he started brainwashing me. So he next day, so we all went to, like, there was a New Year's party in DC, so we booked for that party, so we were there. And then at the time of, like, at the midnight, there was a champagne toast, so he proposed me at that time, and I said no. But I did not say no to you. I said no, I'm not going to marry, like, right now. उस समय मेरे दिमाग में I wasn't prepared for getting, like, committed to any person. Like, I was enjoying my singles life. So no, like, I'm not thinking of it for like any 3-4 years. So, but then next morning when we've all got up and we get out to, like, roam around the city, then he started brainwashing me. Every point wherever we stopped, like, started brainwashing my mind. There's nothing going to change. What is your issue? So he started taking one by one, and in the end, I'm like, okay, let's do it.
उनकी तरफ से तो मैं तो दिमाग में ये सोच बैठाने वाला हूँ, खाली मैं ही हूँ और तू किसी और को चुन ही नहीं सकती।
Exactly.
He said, like,
but I mean, इसको ही तो बोलते हैं ना, हिम्मत ही।
In this world, so ultimately there's only me for you. So I'm like, okay, let's give it a chance.
No,
by end of the day, I was like, okay.
So what if there was, like, a major turning point for you, Madhuri, like, where it's like, hey, मैं हाँ बोलने वाली हूँ, this is the guy. What was that major turning point moment?
I think do you remember?
But I remember once, like, when we were going to this Martin Luther King
Memorial.
Washington Memorial.
Yeah.
So वहाँ पे बहुत सारे मेमोरियल में थॉट्स लिखे लीडर्स के। एक लीडर ने वहाँ पे लिखा था कि the only limit of your realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. So मैंने माधुरी को समझाने की कोशिश की कि जो हमारे डाउट्स थे उन पे ज्यादा भरोसा मत करो, there is a lot of potential in our future, so let's focus on that. तो मुझे याद है कि उसके बाद माधुरी थोड़ी चेंज हुई थी, बट बिफोर दैट शी सेड नो, और आई वाज
पर एक ही दिन लगा one day to change the mind. So
नहीं, but actually मैं कुछ बोल सकता तो मैं गौरव को बोलना चाहता हूँ, आपकी हिम्मत की तो दाद देनी पड़ेगी. आपने कोशिश छोड़ी नहीं, and you're just kind of relentless in your pursuit, and I mean that in the most positive way, and I just wanted to say to Mother, it's kind of like a genuine feeling. I think you picked a good guy, and Gaurav, it's great to see you guys' positive energy, and after 5 years you're still writing poetry, you're singing, and I guess मुझे बाद में बोलेगी तू भी मेरे लिए सब
so whenever we are sitting in our friend circle and when he says something, all the wives look at their husbands like, what are you doing?
That's great.
ये तो जरूर सीखना पड़ेगा कि ये कैसे करते हैं.
कुछ तो सीखना
Maybe
पड़ेगा.
on the next show you can also say something like have something written,
कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा, कुछ गाना गाना पड़ेगा, कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा.
Rishi, I can send you some of the pics. I saved all his shairi into a notebook file. I can send you some of the pics so that you can read that and tell her that it's written from you.
Perfect.
No, I'd love that. I appreciate you wanting to do that. Just go ahead and send it our way, and maybe it'll give me some inspiration to do something like Gaurav. So, but I mean, that's great that it kind of get started with your story, and we're gonna talk with you guys so much more. And at this point of the show, I wanted to bring in our other couple, Sumita and Soman. How are you guys doing?
Good. We are really doing great, especially listening to Gaurav's the love story and the journey.
No, definitely. And like I was telling Gaurav, it's like it's a learning lesson for us, and we've almost been married for 2 years. But at this 5-year point, I want to be that person who has it in my repertoire, singing to my wife and writing poetry. So that's a good takeaway. But no, we want to hear about your guys' story, how you met, what makes you guys different, and some of your twists and turns, your ups and downs. So I mean, it's your stage.
I will let him start because that's the best way.
Well, it started 1972. Most of you are not born. 19.
Yeah.
Calcutta.
I was born in 87, so yeah.
Yeah, sure. 1972 in Calcutta I started. She was first-year student at college in Calcutta. I was a final-year student in my undergraduate studies in Calcutta. So we met each other through our common friends. My friend and his that time girlfriend, and they were classmates. So that's how we met. Okay, and so it was not like a love at first sight, no guzzle, no, but music because she was a singer.
Love at first sight, you look like I guess movie में देखने
and ghazal में सुनते हैं, but that's all right. But it was not love at first sight.
Yeah.
Friendship, acquaintance, and all that. But then gradually, it became a challenge to me, and I like to take challenges in life.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So the challenge was, in India back then, even now probably, there's much less, because she's a Brahmin and I'm a Kayastha. Okay. Bush, she's Chakravarti. But I had a leg up because my father married to a Chakravarti. 30 years back. So I'm used to it. So I was, and her parents were adamant that no, it's not going to work. And I said, well, it got to work. It got to work. So what was that? A little fast forward, because the long journey, almost 50 years. We were married 41 years. We just had our 41st marriage anniversary yesterday.
Oh, congrats.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
Congratulations.
So the journey was like, I graduated from college. She was still studying. So I went in economics. And then, of course, Indian Statistical Institute. And then, of course, I left India in 1982.
Okay.
We are here since then. Well, shortly after. I'm coming to that. So one day we were in a restaurant. Okay, I remember. And then as we walked out of the restaurant after our, snack or whatever we had at that time, I see she was nervous, very nervous. But she was nervous because he saw her brother, her older brother, passing by.
Okay.
Her brother passes, and there comes her mother.
Oh no. Yeah.
There comes her mother. They're confronting me. Okay. Oh, yeah. Even her brother passed to the cabin where we were sitting in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Then they said, I said, nothing. We'll see. I'll face. So then we faced on the street, her mother and her brother. And then, she asked, so what's your plan? I said, well, I'm going to go master's degree and get my PhD in the USA and then go marry your daughter.
Yeah.
And she said, okay, we'll see about that. Something like that in Bengali.
Yeah.
I said, okay. In my mind, I said, okay, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Right. And then, she went to university. I went to university, worked a few years, and then we got married in 1980. And now we are.
I mean, that's.
We are 1982.
Yeah.
Here we are. We are professors.
Yeah.
At the same university. That is a beautiful thing because we were, when you do PhD from two different places, it's because they don't hire at the same university. So it so happened 20 years ago, Nashville offered us the job at Tennessee State. So we are both professors.
Yeah.
And in the ups and downs in our lives, life teaches you. Life teaches you and throws challenges at you. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And unless we are rising to the task, we get clobbered by events, adversities and things like that. We have a lot of things happening in our life, but we are still together. And hopefully we will be together until death do us apart.
Yeah. No, I mean, everything that you had to say, honestly, it's an incredible story. And like you talk about life's struggles and, the problems that it brings to a couple. Mm-hmm. And obviously it becomes a shared experience at that point, whatever you go through. And you've gone through a lot. And you said you met in 1970.
It's very boring. If it's just all nice and coasting, then that'll be coasting. But right to the roller coaster, like waves.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
No, of course. And with those,
waves,
you have to
ride out.
And with those kind of like bumps along the way and any problems that come your way, it only makes you stronger and you become that much more resilient. So actually, I'm kind of interested. So you said you met in 1972 in Calcutta, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about that kind of first interaction and what did you say to her when you did talk to her for the first time, and what were some of the emotions that went through your head?
Well, like I said, it was a kind of a friendly meeting. My friend, my classmate at that time, and so one day he said, "Hey, I'm going to meet my friend, my girlfriend at that time, and she has some friends. You want to meet?" Sure. Because I guess I was getting desperate to be single. I mean, no girlfriend at that time. The challenge. So I just he dared me, and I went there, and then we met a few times after that. Nothing special, just like a friendly meeting in small restaurants, or then after that maybe a couple of movies and outings. In Calcutta back then, those days, you out to some places for longer time, for a day or so. So not part of the day, go out there, come back. So that happened with other friends. So that's that. Then that went on for over a year. Then we took it took us a little bit of separate ways from our friends. Then because I graduated from the college in 1972, 73 early, and then I went to the university, and that she was still continuing.
But he didn't tell you the main part of the story.
Well,
I was just going to ask you.
There is people, skip couple of chapters. I was a singer, as he said. I was a music major, and I was doing my undergraduate as a music and what is that called? That literature. Okay. And I went to Christian college, and like women's Christian college, and his challenge was, and I used to go to my music school, my Christian college, and his challenge was he has to had to meet me regardless what it is, wherever it is. And he didn't care. Even my mother was with me, my brother was with me, my friends were. He had to see me. Like it was a challenge that he created for himself.
Yeah.
And I was part of that. Okay, let me see how far he goes. I was just watching. Let's see how far he goes.
Yeah, exactly.
So every time I get out of my school, my music school, I will see he's standing right in front of a bus stoppage and just looking at me. He had to see me. I'm in the college, I'm with my friends, and my college was very strict. They had the security at the gate. One day I found my principal called me. He said, "No, you have your relatives, your cousin came here to see you." No, I will not have any cousin will come to my college to see me. Period. So I said, who that could be? So this is how it started, right from that restaurant where we met with all friends. That since that day he kept on making this kind of cycle of challenges he created for himself as for me. So I went to my principal's office and I was very scared. I didn't know that what to do.
Yeah.
So I saw him sitting next to my principal. And I was looking like this. I said, okay. And he said, your cousin said that he needed to see you because there's something urgent happened at the. Okay. And I couldn't, I was speechless because I couldn't say anything. Mm-hmm. And I knew if I get caught, I will be out of that college. And he doesn't care if he gets caught because he's already in the third year of his college.
Yeah.
Nobody put him out.
Yeah, it was point to the yeah, exactly.
Right. So I just managed to leave the college, and my friends kept on laughing and laughing because they knew what was going on. Because my friend's boyfriend was his best friend. Okay. So this was on and on and on. Like every time I finished my undergraduate, then I went to do my master's in vocal, classical music, and I find him all of a sudden in the cafeteria in front of, all of a sudden he will just come from his college, from his university, and he will just come and he will check on me who I am going with and how many, admirer I have in front of me and all this.
आपके ऊपर तो नजर ही रखती है, yeah.
आपने ये नजर तो मैंने अभी भी हमें वो नजर हमें I have to take नजर. So
नहीं ऐसे देखो कि नजर ना लग जाए.
Exactly.
दूसरों को नजर ना लग जाए भाई.
And not only that, but because I had many admirers because I was a musician, I was a dancer, and I was a social person. Yeah. So I had people around me, and a lot of people that time they wanted to meet me as a girlfriend. Okay, they proposed. He won't even let anyone come here.
Because
but he was just protecting you.
God.
He was your bodyguard.
I come from a family. My younger son said, "You come from a dacoit family." I said, "Absolutely. What are we? What I look for?
They're very
keep
possessive.
our eyes with." I'm just kidding.
They're very, very possessive, and so he knew that what was.
I mean, सबसे अच्छी तरह से possessive, right? I mean, it's like जैसे फिल्मों में देखते, वही प्यार. तो I mean, आप बोल 1972 में मिले थे, और I mean, शादी इतने सालों के बाद इसलिए तो टिकती है. I mean, where there's that love, there's that passion, and and there's that positivity that we see between you. तो अच्छी बात है.
It's still there, and again he said that. Love was not there. Love was not at first sight. It was kind of, okay, let's see how far it goes. And then I knew that if I'm going out with him, I will marry him. And that was a challenge for me because, as he mentioned, that my family was against my marriage. So, that challenge went on. And then we got married, and as soon as we got married, we came to this country. He came as a student in Utah. Then I became a student. And I was a mother of 1.5-month-old boy at that time. I went to India to have him. And so I came here. He was 1.5-month-old, and I started my school again in this country in music composition.
Oh,
yeah, so I finished my degree. He finished his PhD from Utah State. And then what to do? Okay, what's next? So he got his faculty position at New Mexico State. And I said, what am I am going to do, because I got accepted in Florida State for music therapy. So we go, right? So I made a sacrifice. So I came. So then I started, applying. And then fortunately, New Mexico State had an opening in doctorate program. And I applied for that because of my master's. And I didn't have to do another master's. And took some courses, and I applied for the doctoral program, and I got the fellowship. And where my another journey, apart from being a musician and being a dancer, being a writer, I just took my position, my journey to being a teacher of the teachers. So after I finished my PhD, and he was still working at NMSU, and they don't hire their own PhD, so I had to look for a job at other university. And I got a position at Kentucky, and then here at Nashville, they offered both of us the position.
The last 20 years we are here.
So 20 years in Nashville, we are here.
Yeah. And the rest is history. I mean, what an incredible
That's
story.
an incredible story. Yeah. That's incredible. And it's surprising that, we have two couples here that are so into music and ghazals and, are so into composing and stuff. So we'll definitely have a part of our show where, Sumita will have you sing and Gaurav will have you share. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm excited. So
then Gaurav also sing ghazals.
Oh, wow.
सबसे एक सुनने का मौका मिलेगा. Everyone needs to be ready with something.
Right. Nowadays, you write on songs and put some music there.
But, writing is part of our journey, and I write, and he writes too. And I have 3 published books, and one of them is totally apart from my professional journey. And I took a challenge to write that book. It's called Groom Wanted.
Okay.
And you can see I have never wanted any groom. But I have seen so many groom wanted ads. And if you get a chance, get that book. And so it is in English, but you will really have a kick out of that book, because that's a lot of stories in that. It's really love stories.
Yeah, if you want to actually share with the viewers how they can access the book.
It's on Amazon. It's on Barnes and Nobles. They can look for my name, Sumita Chakraborty Ghosh. Anybody can have it. I already, this one accessible in all over the world. Except India. I'm fighting with my publishers. I said, why it is not in India? It should be.
Yeah.
And but it's in London, it's in Australia, it's in all over the world.
No, that's great. No, and I hope it has the opportunity to spread that to India.
I'm very thankful.
And my book is coming out, hopefully next month. It's published from the publisher. Yeah, this is not a fiction or non-fiction. It's kind of still fiction, but mostly non-fiction. It's our journey called A Few Good Memories. So it's our family, myself, my wife, our 2 boys, our journey through time. So there, and my relationship with my father, etc. It's called A Few Good Memories. So that's coming out very soon.
No, and I really like that title as well.
Yeah.
A Few Good Memories.
That's actually exciting. We'll definitely have to take a peek at the book, and maybe we can have another session where we come and talk about the book and have you guys back on our show. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah. No, honestly, मैं देखो तो आप दोनों के बीच में आप लोगों ने किताबें लिखी हुई है, and Gaurav, हमारा शायर है, and it's great to see all that. I guess मेरे लिए टाइम हो गया है, मुझे अपनी गेम थोड़ी अप करनी पड़ेगी. डंडे पड़ेंगे. तुम मेरे लिए कुछ गाता नहीं है, तुम्हें भी कुछ दिखता नहीं है.
You can draw. He's a very good artist, so he does do portraits. He'll take pictures and draw from those. So he is working on one of them, one of our wedding pictures. He's trying to, he's gonna start drawing that. So he started that already. I think it's just the matter of finishing it.
Every weekend मैं इसको बोलता है, इस weekend थोड़ा थक गया यार. अगले weekend थोड़ा continue कर दो drawing. ऐसे 2-3 महीने से थोड़ी लटक गई drawing में भी like 10% complete है, तो अगले 6-7 महीने में तो हो जाएगा.
Hopefully. So with that,
Sumita's gift.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Merry
Perfect.
Christmas में मांगा
I
था
think New Year's Eve, guys. That gives me like the rest of the year. So New Year's. Yeah,
New Year's gift.
Christmas में मांगा था लेकिन हुआ नहीं तो अब now I guess New Year's.
New Year's. Madhuri, that's a done deal. New Year's में मिलेगा ठीक है ना मुझे get 10 महीने मिलते हैं ठीक है.
Yeah, exactly.
उतने time में हो जाएगा.
So with that, we'll move forward with the next part of our show, which is going to be the question and answer round. This is going to be super fun. We're just going to ask each couple just questions about their relationships and about themselves so the viewers can get to know a little bit more about you guys. So, Rishi, you want to start with the first question?
Yeah, definitely. So I guess we'll go with the ladies first, Samantha and Madhuri. We can start with Madhuri. If you had to pick, you've been married for 5 years?
Yeah.
So, like, in these 5 years, you've had an incredible opportunity, so many countless moments to get to know Gaurav better. If you had to pick one thing that you like the most about Gaurav, what would it be?
The one thing that I like most about Gaurav is at tea time. So he makes the tea every evening when we come from office or when we finish from office now, like work from home. So he makes the tea. So in 5 years, I have not made the tea. So I think that's what I like most about it. Most love about our relationship.
Yeah.
So we both come from office and then he starts with the tea and then I put something on the TV and then we sit together in tea time. So that's my favorite time.
जो अच्छी बात है हमारे घर में भी चाय बनाने वाला मैं ही हूँ ज़्यादा तगड़ी चाय मैं ही बनाता हूँ
या और फिर उसके बाद चाय के साथ वो बिग बॉस हम देख लेते हैं so that's just like you guys we have our tea time and our big boss time
no, that's great
so we watch like some comedy so I watch like Ji Jaji Chhatpar and that's a comedy so I really like that so we watch like some of the clips or that
No, that's great. That's great. Wait, same question for Samantha. If you had to pick, so many years of marriage, and the audience and all of us over here, we got to hear about the beautiful journey that started in 1972 in Calcutta. It sounds like a Hindi movie, and I think it would be a great movie. But in all of these years of marriage, if you had to pick some of that, what's your favorite, or what's your kind of like one way you would describe your husband? What's the most positive thing that you can think about him?
The first thing I think of him, and because maybe that's why I stuck together all these years, he's a perfect gentleman. He's a perfect gentleman. And that's a part I respect and admire of him the most. And the second thing is that he's not a quitter. He does. He never quits, like something like Gaurav, We did 8 years. Even the day before our marriage, I said, no, I'm not marrying him. And he just did not quit. He still doesn't quit. So that's the most positive aspect of him. And the second part is, I think, chai se kuch hota hai, main and tea. He makes my morning tea, otherwise I will not get up. He prepares my morning tea. He makes sure I'm charged. Then sare din I will take care of it. But in the morning tea, and we don't get a chance, we never did get a chance to sit together and have our tea because we teach in 2 different times. And when I used to go to my office, maybe he just was home or he's teaching, I'm home. But now because of this lockdown, we are home. We enjoy our tea together. But afternoon we drink coffee. We are the morning drink. We are the Calcutta person, so we have to have our tea in the morning. So and afternoon I have to have my coffee because that's my habit I developed during my teaching because all my classes are at night. So I have my coffee to teach for 3 hours at a stretch. So that's what we enjoy now. We are enjoying that. And I enjoy, he's my best friend. That's what I can say. I can live without anyone, but I have to have him to me. He's my best friend.
I can definitely relate to that.
I agree with you, yeah. So this is something that I would also say that we are not like husband wives, we are friends. I would say we are roommates living together in the same house. That's what is the feeling, and I think it's going to continue like that because now the bonding is such, and yeah, we share like we both like discuss. We can discuss anything, and we can speak like anything without thinking to each other.
कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं ना, ये बंदर मुझे जज नहीं करेगा, मेरे बारे में कुछ बुरा नहीं सुनेगा, कुछ बुरा नहीं कहेगा, ये अच्छी बातें सोचेगा।
Exactly.
वो कुछ भी बोल सकता है मुझे, मैं कुछ भी बोल सकती हूँ उसे, और हम कुछ भी we can do like all the craziness in the world, like shout, go to clubbing, जो सब है. So I will say to you.
And we did the same coding last 2 years back together.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just like you guys, I think I can definitely relate to that. I mean, Rishi and I, just like Sumita, you said, I can live without anything in this world. But when he's not home, or when he's like, if I'm traveling, or if he's traveling, and if we don't have each other, for me, I feel like kuch to kabhi hai. Like khane mein bhi maza nahi aata. There's no fun watching TV. It's not like I can turn around and be like, wo dekha usne kya pehna hua hai, ye dekha usne kya bola, ye. That conversation that you have when you watch TV, or something as simple as looking outside the window, wo jo maza aata hai, you don't have that when that person is missing. And I think just like you guys were saying, I think that's that bond of having your husband or your wife as your best friend versus them just being that significant other.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that means a lot, coming from you. I never hesitate to tell anyone that I ever meet, whoever I come across in my life, that Kunjita is the best human being I've ever met. And, I've had countless friends, co-workers, whatever capacity of the relationship was. It might be even a family member. There's been like, negative conversations, or like, a judgmental conversation, or, I felt like they perceived Rishi in the worst possible way. And I think about Kunjita, all the positive superlatives come to my mind in terms of encouraging, motivating, loving. And, we heard from Sumita, one of the things he loves about someone is, that relentless pursuit, and that relentless, having that capacity to be positive to the other person. And, I think that about you. And, it means a lot to me that she can say that about me. And that's really the only opinion that counts. Her and my dog. I care a lot about what my dog thinks about me. But all jokes aside, I feel there's a lot of positivity here on this panel between, all of us as couples, and, we've learned a lot about each other. But yeah, that's kind of the question I wanted to ask.
So a question for the gentleman. What is something you would want to do together that you haven't done with your wives yet? So we can start with Suman.
Yeah.
Repeat the question for a second, please.
What is something that you'd like to do with Sumita that you haven't done yet?
There are some certain things that we haven't done. There cannot finish journey. Journey is a continuous thing. So I like to work together, to do a lot of things for the rest of the world. So we have a small foundation, and our goal together is to make the foundation bigger. Because professionally, I'm towards almost to the end of my career. I've been professor for 35 years. And I really want to dedicate the rest of my life to run the foundation. She runs it.
Right now, I run it.
Right.
So he must.
But I like to be on the other side, because running a foundation, everything it takes a lot of money and resources. So I will be that person. I like to be that person, and then depend on her to run the day-to-day things. That's the thing we haven't done together. That's the ultimate goal I have.
So do you like doing the front part of the fund, like the organization, or the back end?
No, she does everything. Fund, maybe managing some projects. I like to be the resource person. I like to be going out the world and raise funding. That's my area, and that's what I like to do.
At this moment, I get the grant proposal, and we read the grants and how they. But mainly, I just communication, selection, going to the place where we are funding and visit there, see how they are running with the funds. And we have almost 7 countries we have supported last 13 years. And so these, not many countries we could visit, but most of the one we try to mention. But every single communication, even running an annual event, I do that. So they just go on the stage and they just and they say, I'm the one president. And every single thing I run now, he wants to take a part of that and wants to be part of the backbone.
No, of course, and everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and I think the most important thing in a relationship is obviously you guys would know, and Madhuri and Gaurav would know. You guys have been married longer than both of us, and everyone has strengths to bring to the table, whatever that task is, and every task demands different strengths from that from that couple, and how you're able to apply it. And if someone has a strength, somebody that does it well. I think you guys have learned over the years. How you can work best with each other and how to bring the best out of you. And honestly, when I think about Kunjita, she's resourceful, she's highly intelligent, and I think about some of the things I can bring to the table, and I always try to tell myself you need to be the best team player, and how can you enable a situation? How can you move yourself forward? As a couple in whatever task or whatever objective you have, being to work with each other.
Yeah.
So I'm a people's person. I'm not. Like to be a better.
Yeah.
I like to give the vision, overview, big picture. Each other.
नहीं वो तो बहुत अच्छी बात है when you say you're a people person, it's like सबसे important चीज इस दुनिया में क्या है इंसान ही है. तो सुमिता आपके लिए सबसे important इंसान तो आपके साथ बैठे हैं, vice versa, and Madhuri and Gaurav, and people are the most important thing. So for me, the most important person in my life is sitting next to me, so I completely get that. But थोड़ा सवाल पूछते might be a little.
Well, we still need to hear from Gaurav as well.
Oh yeah, Gaurav से भी सुनते हैं.
यार तुम मेरे को माधुरी के साथ अभी तो मैं काफी एडवेंचरस हूँ, तो मुझे हर वो क्लिफ पे जाना है जहाँ से मैं अकेला कूदा हूँ. I want her to jump with me.
Not happening. Not happening.
That's a very big challenge, and I definitely, if I was asked to jump over cliffs, I definitely would not do that. I think the closest thing that I could ever think of jumping out of would be maybe a plane, but even then, I think किसी को मुझे धक्का मारना पड़ेगा for me to do that.
तो मुझे basically बोल रही है तुझे करना है तो किसी और को ढूंढ.
नहीं किसी और को नहीं, अगर करना है तो
he has done pretty the skydiving jump. So whenever we go to like a beach vacation or if there's a cliff jumping, everything. But I definitely don't jump because I'm not that adventurous. So I would slowly go into the water and then go beyond that. So I think he's looking for an adventurous person.
हम लोग का मेरा गोल है कि हम लोग अरुबा में हम लोगों का एक रेस्टोरेंट या डिस्कोथेक जैसा बनाए ओवर द वाटर, और मेरा ड्रीम है कि मैं डेली उसको मछली पकड़ के लाऊं एंड शी रन द रेस्टोरेंट. Retirement plan.
That's our retirement plan, to go onto like an island and just be there.
That sounds like so much fun. I mean, not only do you get like the luxury of the island, you have great weather, you have great food. I mean, you have your own restaurant. That's fantastic. That's a great idea.
Yeah, no, of course. So in terms of cliff jumping, I know Madhuri doesn't seem like she's anywhere close to being on board with it. If I had to ask Gaurav, आपने उनको क्या बोला, in terms of convincing them that you might.
मैंने उसको वाटर स्लाइड में तो कन्विंस करा लिया है, तो I hope someday I'll convince her to jump into water with me as well. Let's see.
You don't even jump from the third level. When you go in the pool, I don't even jump from the top of the pool. I just go from the baby steps into the water. So nothing close.
Well, maybe he'll do some jadoo and he'll write you a nice poem, and then maybe in that one day you'll just transition and you'll be like, "Ha, kud jate."
Let's see.
Yeah, or sometimes it's never enough. I remember my I think it was like 8th or 9th grade French teacher, and she'd been married at that point when I met her in school. Like she'd been married for probably over 20, 30 years, and she told me that throughout the duration of her marriage, her husband never got on board in terms of going skydiving with her, and she always wanted to go. And then she told me like one time, like after 20 plus years, I just could never convince him. And she had a hairstylist that she saw, that's the person that she would go to every time she wanted to get her hair done. And she knew her hairstylist for like 10 plus years. So she's like, he and her husband need I'll ask my hairstylist. And trust this person. And she ended up going with her hairstylist and also a good friend. But kabhi, it's like even 20 years might not be enough to convince someone to go skydiving or cliff jumping.
Yeah.
But hopefully Gaurav was able to, achieve that task of convincing you.
हो सकता है कि मैं थोड़े दिन में मुझे उतना
craze ना I do the convincing. I convince him, that's something adventurous. Let's do something else.
Yeah.
Activity. So we did like we went to Cancun and we did the underwater scuba scooter. So I did that with him. That was very adventurous for me. So
yeah, no, of course. At least about for birthday, I wanted to ask a little more difficult or a mushkil question, or Soman sir ke saath shuru kar de. So Soman, if you had to think about in terms of with Sumita, the longevity of the marriage, what's there's some things that we always naturally dislike about one another, and we voice that in the most positive way, and it's like it's like I don't think I like this thing about how you approach something, and if you worked at it better, I think it would be better. And this with her as well, I'm sure there's things she wants to change about me. So with someone after all these years of marriage, I'm sure there's so many things you love about your wife. But what's like the one thing you'd want to change?
Yeah, I understand the question.
वही मैं सोच रहा था सबसे आसान तरीके से पूछता हूँ. I have to make it go soft.
Yeah, I would just refer back to take you to a song. Song है थोड़ी सी मीठी है जरा से मिर्ची. Meaty. Have you heard that song? Beautiful song. So I that as my inner mantra. थोड़ी सी मीठी है जरा से मिर्ची है. तो जब मिर्ची का टाइम आ जाता है उनका, you do not need to be near her. So you need to give her space, right? When mirchi time aa jata hai, mirchi to bubbling, and she has lots of mirchis. So jara se mirchi.
Yeah.
So that is the time when you have to give her space.
Yeah.
Back normal.
No, I think that's good.
Sorry, I'm not mastered that part yet.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we're also working on. I mean, there's times where I get the mirchi in myself as well, and I look very pleasant and everything, and there's people. Sometimes he goes, "I'm shocked that you get so mad sometimes." Like, what?
ये गुस्सा किधर से आया?
ये गुस्सा किधर से आया?
Let me tell you a little thing from her friend. Her friend went to Brazil one time, and this is her colleague. They went, okay. Then one time they were eating, and then the chef gave them a salad. The salad was not really par. No, it was a bad salad. I mean, it was not made but. So this American white lady said, "You don't let a brown woman be red. You look purple, and you run away." So I just want to tell you that when you take Indian ladies mad, then you will not have your time.
Yeah.
No, that's really good. And I think, go ahead.
All ladies.
So you give a space, give time.
Yeah.
The craft. It's a craft.
After 41 years, he still hasn't mastered it yet.
वो सीख है ना, वो जिंदगी में तो सीखते ही रहते हैं ना.
वो एक challenge बन गया है ना.
नहीं, but
I've accepted the challenge. So
he met the challenge, but he still hasn't met that challenge.
No, I know that.
But I think it's great because it's one of those things where there's that movie with Will Smith, right? Pursuit of Happiness, and I'm sure some of you guys have seen it. If not, you have. And so I mean, the pursuit of happiness, it's a constant pursuit.
Exactly.
And it's never going to be fully attained. And I think it's always one of those things where it's like you continue to work on something. That's the most important part. And someone, I think the best thing I liked about what you said, I liked everything that you said, but I think the thing that stuck out the most for me was, we all have our buttons. There's times I push her button, and she pushes my buttons, or ek do baar din mein ho jata hai. But And it's like, I'm sure Madhuri and Gaurav had that every couple does. But someone mentioned such a good thing where it's like, everyone needs a point where they need to decompress.
Yeah.
And there's that point where you just like, I think I've done everything I can, or there's everything that I can do can wait. Because, she or he needs that point where they can just reflect and bounce their own energies off of themselves. They don't need that external person. So you need to step away sometimes. And that's one of those things I've understood about Kunjita. If she gets to a certain point, it's like, मैंने इतने buttons push कर दिए, where it's like मैं अपने आप को गाली दे रहा हूँ, like मैं क्या करूँ? And then it's like मैं सोचता हूँ, मैं time लगा के सोचता हूँ, उसको थोड़ा वक्त दे, let her be, and things will kind of settle down.
Yeah, and I think bringing up the pursuit of happiness, I think that's exactly what life is about as a couple or even as individuals, right? It's the pursuit of happiness. If you're not pursuing and you've already achieved the happiness, then that's when, like someone was saying, it becomes very flat and it becomes boring. So it's always a pursuit. So we're always going to learn different things about each other. We're always going to have like our ups and downs. And, if I figure out every single one of his buttons and know how to control every button or know how to react to every button, I think it would be pretty boring because then there's no surprises.
वो राज ही रहेगा. 2-3 बटन मालूम है, वो अगले 8-9 बटन वो राज ही रहेगा.
Perfect.
But same सवाल गौरव के लिए हमें साफ दिखता है गौरव का जो प्यार है माधुरी के लिए it's very honorable, it's very endearing. But what's the one thing that you'd want to change about Madhuri?
मुझे कुछ ऐसा नहीं लगता कि माधुरी को चेंज करना चाहिए, बट मैं जब कॉलेज में था तब मेरे को ये लगता था कि जिंदगी में कुछ ऐसे सक्सेस के मुकाम है जब आपको मिल जाते हैं तो यू बिकम रिलैक्स. अपने आप से पूछा था या बोला था किसी फ्रेंड से भी कि मुझे कुछ ऐसा पाना है जो कंटिन्यूअसली मुझे चैलेंज करे. तो आई मेट माधुरी और उसके बाद से वो डेली मुझे अपना आईना दिखा देती है कि दिस इज एंड आई गो बैक टू माय वर्क टू इम्प्रूव माई सेल्फ. सो आई सी कि समडे माधुरी मुझे बोले कि नाउ यू आर परफेक्ट हस्बैंड. I don't know when this day come, but I hope someday.
Yeah. No, and one of the things I loved, just kind of how you started off talking, Gaurav, it's like you kind of struggled to think about, anything negative or anything you'd want to change about her, and it was a struggle to come to your mind. And, it doesn't take you a second, or never do you hesitate to say all the positive things. So that's a great thing for us to, for us to know about each other. And, but like you said, it's, you learn things about one another and you learn how to adjust with one another a lot better over time.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And I think, that's just the way you build a relationship and you get stronger and stronger as a couple. You get to learn so much. And I know just for me, speaking for myself, through our journey, even though we've been married for 2 years, we've known each other for 11 years now. Yeah. And we were engaged for 4 years. And so, for us, it was one of those journeys where not only did it bring us closer, but there's so much that I've learned about myself as an individual where I've been able to evolve and, kuch seekhne mile aur fir you're always doing something and bettering yourself. Not a day goes by where he hasn't said something to me where pehli baar maine suna, maine kaha, ye kya bol raha hai? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Main aisi to nahi hu. And then I sit back and I listen and I'm like, नहीं शायद मैंने कुछ बोला होगा इसकी वजह से उसने कहा होगा, वरना you wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
So you sit back and you think and you listen and you're like, okay, how could I have done that different? What could I have said? Was it a word? Was it a tone? Was it attitude? Was it expression? I mean, कुछ भी हो सकता है. So then you start having conversations like that, and I think back to what we were saying in the beginning, it's that best friend relationship, right? You can sit down and be like, why did you say that? And what did I do that made you say that?
Yeah. No, I mean, there's everything you said, I fully agree with, and I appreciate all those positive words. And honestly, there's things we always want to change about each other. But I think one of the biggest things you said is, self-growth is constantly. It should be constantly evolving. And your significant other always recognizes and appreciates when you make changes to whatever negative behavior, and they see those changes. And I think that's most important. And there's times I've had at some points I get a little too angry, a little too soon, and I get a little carried away. And over time, she's told me that, like, I've seen that you've changed that. And if she had to say something open, like, I wish I could change, Rishi's, frustration, sometimes the anger, might get a little out of hand and it's unwarranted in that situation. But over time, I've seen that she appreciates that. Sometimes it's through words or sometimes it's just through body language where she's conveying to me, Rishi, I see that you control, the anger and those things that I wanted to see change in you. And it feels good when I see that, respect from her. And like, what, I made that positive change, and my significant other recognizes that and appreciates that change in me.
Yeah.
So, but go ahead.
Yeah. So the next question is for the ladies. The Smita, or for both of you guys actually. For the four people. Who was the first one to say "I love you"? So we can start with Smita and Suman.
I love you.
Yeah, exactly. Now we know who said it first.
Yeah.
But never still, I had to take care of herself.
I love you बोला था.
But so पहली बार कब था? I mean, when you said it, and do you remember that moment?
हाँ, मैं एक नदी के किनारे, चार्ल्स नदी है बॉस्टन में, तो मैं अपने कंपनी से डेली घर पैदल आता था, तो चार्ल्स ब्रिज क्रॉस करके आई रियली फील वहीं पे मुझे माधुरी के लिए पोएम्स आना शुरू हुए. तो मैंने इसको फिर बुलाया कि यहाँ बैठते हैं थोड़ी देर, और फिर देन आई हैंड ओवर ऑल द पोएम्स व्हिच मैं लिख रहा था पिछले 30 दिनों से. सो शी अमेज्ड. और फिर वो मैंने उसको वहाँ पे बोला कि आई लव यू और शादी करना है. तो वो इसकी में सरप्राइज हो गई कि पहला लड़का मिला है जो शादी करने को बोल रहा है.
Yeah.
So that is something surprising for her.
Yeah, but then I was like moving to New Jersey, so I came to tell him कि मेरी job New Jersey में लग गई है, so I'm moving there. So then he came to drop me, but we started like talking to each other on the phone. फिर हम लोग मिलने लगे. So like he used to visit to me New Jersey on the weekends, and कभी मैं. फिर then he applied for me कि मेरी job Boston में लग जाए. So I got some interviews. So I came here at Boston to give some interviews. So then I moved back क्योंकि फिर मुझे एक better position यहाँ मिल गई थी. So I moved back to Boston again, and then
माधुरी के लिए मैं उस समय, मेरे को एक गाना बहुत पसंद था, वो गुंचा कोई तेरे नाम कर दिया.
ऐसे नहीं चलेगा, गाना पड़ेगा.
गुंचा कोई मेरे नाम कर दिया, साकी ने फिर से मेरा जाम भर दिया. तो माधुरी का ऐसा कि मैं जब भी अपना जाम उठाऊं तो वो वापस उसको भर देती है अपनी मोहब्बत से. राहत इंदौरी साहब है, उनका एक बहुत अच्छा शेर है जो मुझे इसके याद दिलाता है माधुरी का कि एक तेरी याद आई है, सांसों जरा धीरे चलो, सांसों के शोर से इबादत में खलल पड़ता है. मीन्स आई एम इन इबादत कर रहा हूँ जैसे मैं खुदा की, और उसमें भी सांसों की आवाज से मेरे को खलल पड़ता है. तो शी इज समथिंग लाइक दैट.
Wow, that's incredible.
I mean, they get out there, or they get it out there, and it's very endearing to see that in Gaurav, in terms of his positivity and that kind of relentless love towards Madhuri. मुझे भी थोड़ी शायरी सीखनी पड़ेगी ना.
और सुमन जी आप?
So you're asking me when did I say I love you, or I never said that.
Who was the first one to say it in the relationship?
Probably I did this a long time, but I always showed. I showered her with love. So that's why, because I so much because she had no choice. She had nobody to look for others, because the way it is, her parents would try to set somebody up. No, it didn't happen. I did not let that happen. There are some other boys after her. I did not let that happen.
Wait, आप अपनी तरफ से क्या करते थे ये रोकने के लिए?
I was always there. Like, I just come over. I mean, she said she has to go with some music program or something. I'm going to be there. Now what do you That's the
Even
way.
I was attending an music conference with my father, and it's a whole night classical music conference.
Sitting right next to him.
And all of a sudden, I found him, and he's just behind me. I mean, he is worse than a stalker.
Yeah. The सबसे अच्छा compliment यही होगा ना.
I have never seen anyone like that. And he was obsessed with his possession.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's how the marriage lasted for so long. I mean, that's the beauty of the relationship, right? You have to have one person that's going to obsess over the other to keep them right there.
My point is, he was obsessed, but I let it happen. If I did not let it happen, could not have done that.
वो तो आपकी तरफ से भी तो प्यार होएगा ना, वरना you wouldn't let it happen.
There was not that much, and I am
very not that much. Okay. Okay.
My commitment was most important, and that's my middle name. And anytime if I make any commitment, I will give my life for that, and that is I'm very, very strong about that. Even my whole professional world, they know that if I make commitment, even though it will affect negatively my body, my mind, I for that. So that was my commitment.
Yeah. Okay, सलमान खान की क्या लाइन में मैंने एक बार कमिटमेंट कर दी तो मैं अपने खुद की नहीं सुनता.
Exactly.
Yeah, अच्छी बात है, ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. और there was a lot of positive words to kind of live by. So I guess I also want to ask both of the couples, it's so important between our 9 to 5 or if we have a business or whatever we do for a living, we need time to decompress and a time where we want to do what we want to do, what gives our heart joy. And for me, I'm a big sports person. Tomorrow being the Super Bowl, I'm so excited about that. And the NBA, the NFL, I'm a big sports guy, so that's my pastime. And you have your pastime. What do you like to do the most?
One is eat. I love to eat different foods. And then I think my biggest pastime is probably playing with Hasina, our puppy.
Yeah.
And watching anything that has Salman Khan on it, Big Boss, movies.
Yeah.
And Bollywood movies for sure. I think that's the other big pastime. It's relaxing.
No, it really is.
It takes you out of reality and puts you into a real, lovey, bubbly type of
where you can just kind of let it down and just be loose.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, both of the couples. I wanted to ask Mydream first, and then we'll go with Samita. What do you think is your significant other's favorite pastime activity, and do you share your interest in that pastime activity? Do you actually want to do that? So like, what's the pastime activity, and do you actually partake in that as well?
No, I don't take part in that because his pastime or his favorite activity is always being on the laptop. So the TV is on the mute, and then he's on the laptop. That's his favorite activity. If he's not on the laptop, then he's on the mobile. So eyes has to be either on the phone or either on the laptop. And I don't anticipate to take part in that in the future anymore. So then I have to shout, like, close your laptop, and then I take his phone from him and then switch on the volume or do something or go outside. But that's his part-time activity.
Yeah. ऐसे कुछ करना पड़ेगा, like गौरव को एक टाइम मशीन में डाल देते हैं, 1920s में वापस भेज देते हैं, कोई फोन नहीं, कोई लैपटॉप
नहीं, He's always on the phone talking to someone. He's always day and night. And then he has to hide from me. He will go into the basement very quietly, and then I'm looking at it. अभी तो मेरे पीछे खड़ा था, अभी कहाँ चला गया? And then I have to search, and then he's like, the voice is coming from the basement.
ये तो अच्छी बात है, Gaurav doesn't want to anger you, so it's like, मैं थोड़ा छुप के करता हूँ, if you wouldn't know तो गुस्सा किधर से आएगा?
यही तो प्यार है। ट्रिक्स तो पता है, उसको वो सारी ट्रिक्स तो पता है, कब क्या करना है। मैं बोलती हूँ, I'm sleeping, हाँ तुम थोड़ा आराम तक सो, ताकि he gets to do all the phones, to do all the laptop work, so he's very happy with that. तो मैं अपना तो भी
बहुत अच्छी बात है. So with Samita, if you had to say about Soman, what would be his favorite pastime activity if you had to guess, and do you partake in that?
Again, I will go exactly what Madhavi said. I will not take part in that. Only thing, his pastime is watching golf because he's a golfer. And we are a family of music and sports. It's like integral part of our family. So anytime his favorite things is watching golf and also on the phone and talking to someone, but mainly golf. In the golf, because he shares that passion with his younger son. Our younger son also is a golfer, so they share the passion. So he watches. Golf will be always there. Especially the golf, and that is his passion. And I will not. I love watching golf, but I do not want to put my focus only thing on golf. I have so many creative world is going on in my life, and I hate sitting at one place. I'm a mobile person in my family. I'm the super energetic. When I have to have any excitement all the time in my life, and he's a relaxed, down to earth, watch golf. वो बैठ के खाना खाएंगे, गप-सप करेंगे. That's a typical Bengali man. Typical Bengali, and I'm just opposite. And Saurabh was saying that he likes the challenge from the jump from the cliff. I am that person in my. I want to have. We just had our 2019. I did the scuba diving and by myself, and swam with the fishes, the best exotic in Phi Phi Island in Thailand, in Phuket, in Thailand. So, and he didn't go. He didn't go scuba. He didn't even go. He didn't even jump. I jumped up from the boat. He did not. So, so I am. Excitement. I cannot sit idle in one place.
But with someone, I can relate. You love golf, and I'm a big fan of the NBA and the NFL. Like tomorrow being the Super Bowl, where are you guys gonna be watching the Super Bowl tomorrow?
Absolutely.
We were educated in this country, and we raised our two boys in this country.
All right.
They are very, very fanatic.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with your picks for tomorrow. Whoever wants to go first, who do you think is going to win?
I think Malone is going to win.
Okay.
Why is that? Malone. I love that kid.
Hey, you were mentioning, was it Mahomes?
Yeah, Mahomes, right.
Mahomes. Yeah. I mean, with Kansas City, it's a high-powered offense, and obviously being the defending Super Bowl champions, and I can't get over that because I'm a San Francisco 49er fan coming from the Bay Area. So
I am the San Francisco.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, I mean, Kansas City. That's a hell of a team. Patrick Mahomes and all the offensive weapons. You have Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, you name it, and they have everything. But one thing they don't have, Tom Brady.
Of course. He doesn't have Tom Brady, but we'll see. Tom Brady is old.
Who's your pick for tomorrow?
He should not play.
No, this is his last, probably.
His last, yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think I'm just going to go with Tampa.
It'll be a great game, regardless.
Yeah, it will be. I'm excited for the game for sure.
But I think Tampa, no?
I think for me, I would go with Tampa only because I lived there for a short period of time, so I have a little bit of attachment to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So.
Yeah, but I completely share that sentiment. With someone in terms of he loves golf, the PGA, and what's there not to love. You've seen great players like Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer, Tiger Woods, and Vijay Singh, Bubba Watson, and you name it, the list just goes on. And for me, I understand that sentiment.
Vijay used to be my idol, not because he's Indian, but his work ethic is unparalleled. Vijay Singh.
Vijay Singh, yeah. He retired a while ago, right?
He has not retired quite, but he plays the senior circuit more.
Yeah. No, of course, but I completely understand that sentiment. And I can't wait to sit in front of the TV and watch the Super Bowl pregame for like 9 hours.
I love all sports. Even last year I played cricket. I still a big cricketer back in India. Every field, Calcutta, all over.
And I'm a sports fanatic, but when it comes to tennis and soccer, I'm a sports fanatic.
Yeah.
And tennis and soccer, these two are my and favorite. Golf, I'm not that crazy about, but if there's a tennis, tournament.
Oh.
If there's a soccer tournament, I will go crazy.
No, I understand.
How about Madhuri and Gaurav? Are you guys like sports or big sports fans for any of them?
Yeah, I like cricket and I follow that. And then Madhuri is not into, but she follows sometime whenever I watch.
Yeah, if he watches cricket, then I see that I don't have any issue. If he watches something else also, I don't have issue, but I'm personally not into sports.
Yeah. Hey, well, ऐसे possible तो नहीं है. I mean, even you can be married 5 years or 10 years. You can be married 70 years, and you're never gonna share, all of those interests. And but one thing I've learned with Kunjita, it's I always make a conscious effort. Even if I genuinely don't like that pastime activity, it could be it's not it, but it could be going to an opera. But I got to give it a shot. I got to give it a chance, and at least give it a chance. You might like it, but at least try to I guess understand why that person likes it, and if they have to do it on their own, give them that understanding and give them the time to do it.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. So the next question is for both the couples. Would you guys rather prefer knowing how to juggle or do magic tricks? So we can start with Gaurav and Madhuri.
Can you explain the question a little bit?
Yeah, so do you prefer doing juggling, like learning how to juggle, or learning how to do magic tricks instead?
Magic tricks? Yeah.
Good one. Yeah, I think with magic tricks, you have the ability of doing all sorts of different things, right? With juggling, you can only do it so much.
Each other. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But or आपसे भी पूछते.
Yeah, is it better than 14 years plus marriage? I would like to be a magician at this time. Nothing.
So with that,
Juggling, I'm magician.
What would be your magic trick then?
Oh gosh.
That I will play on my wife?
Yeah.
Give me smiles all the time.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
It ain't happening. My favorite.
नहीं वो तो सब अच्छी चीजें and yeah we can move on with it.
Yeah.
Another question. I've always with our couples previously that came on the show, not every question is easy to ask, but if you had to pick, this is for both of the couples and whoever wants to answer can for the couple. What do you think is the biggest argument or the biggest fight that you've had in your relationship? And obviously you can't share everything because not everyone's comfortable sharing that with unknown people. So what's the biggest fight or argument that you've had, and how did you resolve that as a couple, and how did you move on as a couple, and what did you learn from it?
So the biggest, I think it's I don't know if it's the biggest fight or something, but I think it's like so I'm very particular about keeping things like this is how it should be, and he is not at all particular about keeping things. So according to him, like घर तो सिर्फ सैटरडे को ही साफ रहता है ना जब हम करते हैं, बाकी चीजें तो अपन रख सकते हैं. So I think that's like whenever I enter, like अगर मैं इस रूम में enter, so I'm starting to like putting the objects like जो जहाँ जिसकी जगह बनाई थी, and then like he will open the cabinet. जैसे ही उसने किचन का कोई कैबिनेट खोला, I don't know what it takes. कैबिनेट कभी बंद ही नहीं होगा, वो खुला ही रहेगा. Like he takes out the box, but please close the cabinet. I don't know what's there. Like he will take out the clothes from his cupboard, and I don't know why it takes like so much time to close the door back. So I think that.
एक बार माधुरी ने मुझे बोला कि अब से यदि कैबिनेट खुला छोड़ा तो you have to pay like $10.
$10 for each cabinet.
हमारी फाइन पे करना.
इतना उधारी हो गया कि now I have to spend my rest of the life चुकाने के लिए.
So I think that's that. And then sometimes it goes like कि मैं बार-बार बोल रही हूँ, and then he gets irritated sometimes कि अभी ठीक है हो जाएगा.
Yeah, नहीं. और फिर so आप लोगों के लिए भी whoever wants to answer.
It's a never ending, so I'm not going to start because what Madhuri said, that's a typical 3-letter word problem.
Yeah.
It's called MEN. That's 3 letters.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's my husband says you guys have more letters, so you are more responsible towards everything. We have only 3 letters. So, so I have accepted, I had to accept, and I have had many incidents, example, but I don't want to get in there. It's like it will take a long time. But we fight about. He is a extremely time-bound person. That he is. If he says to anyone and if he wants to go anywhere, if it is 10 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock. He will go there 10 minutes or 15 minutes before. And to me, is that I'm not that relaxed. I try to make that time. But to me, that commitment is this. I told them I will come. I will not go like half an hour or 1 hour Indian Standard Time. I don't do that. But to me, my priority in my life is more different than just the time bound. When time is there, my life could be gone within that time. So, and that is more my life, my living, my being with him, my being with the others. That is the most important. My existence is more important rather than being the time.
No, of course, as individuals in a relationship, we want different things, we expect different things, but आपकी बात तो बिल्कुल सही है, आपकी तरफ से तो बिल्कुल सही है. But in terms of someone, sir, it's when I think about it, आप वक्त के पाबंद हो, and it's like you're conscious of time and you're respectful of time, and there's times I've gone into an interview and the first thing the interviewer told me was, thank you for being 15 minutes early, and you weren't just on time, but you were 15 minutes early. It's better. Better there early, and to put on a good impression, and people respect that, and I guess there's a certain level of professionalism. So आपकी तरफ से तो बिल्कुल सही है, in terms of आपकी तरफ से sir, वक्त के punctual लोग उसकी आप इज्जत करते हैं लोग.
Now, I like to just make a little change. When it's a professional business, yes, I like to be on time. In fact, I like to finish on time. Yeah. But when it's personal, like just a relaxed manner, still then he makes my life miserable.
Yeah.
And other people come 1 hour late. Other people are starting 1 hour late. I cannot control that. I do not want to get into something which I have no control over.
Yeah. He
will make my life miserable.
I completely get that. It's like, everyone wants to have that moment where it's just like, I don't want to be bound by time. And, sometimes I go throughout the day, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to keep my phone on me for 2 hours, and I don't want any concept of time on me because I feel like that rushes me. And even when I take my dog for a walk, I take Hasina for a walk, and sometimes, I don't want to take my phone with me because if it's on me, I was like, you know what, I got to be back in 5 minutes. I got to wipe her. I got to get dinner ready. But if I don't have my phone on me, I walk, I enjoy the atmosphere, I enjoy the environment, and I'm not bound by time. I feel like I can fully immerse myself in that moment, and time can sometimes cripple that moment, because you're always thinking, I got to get to the next thing.
Yeah. And I think that's something that I have a problem with. I always like to do that time sequence thing, and I always, okay, well, I have to be here at this time, so I need this much leeway time to do this, and then have a gap in between. So I think I probably irritate him a lot because he's more relaxed and I'm more of the one, okay, next, क्या करना है.
irritate तो मैं अंदर ही अंदर ठीक था. But मुझे तो आज बहुत मजा आया, आप सबसे बात करने की, आपकी कहानी के बारे में हम सीखे, काफी कुछ सीखे, and almost 50 years of marriage, 5+ years of marriage for Madhuri and Gaurav. I had a lot that I learned from all of them.
Absolutely, a lot to learn, and we had so much fun. I really appreciate all of you guys joining, and what we had talked about today. I think it relates to all of us, and all three of us as a couple. I think there were so many similarities. Sumita, you mentioned the men thing, and I think that relates and resonates with Madhuri and myself. There are a lot of times where we do things, and हम सोचते हैं कि हमारे बीच में ही है, लेकिन फिर हम ये बात करते हैं, और when everyone else talks, we're like,
those three-letter. Always keep that in mind.
Yeah, I will for sure now. I mean, that's definitely something I'll take away. And, you know, it's interesting. Like, we come from all different sorts of the parts of the world. We come from different backgrounds, different areas. Our lifestyles are different. Our, you know, everything we do is different. But there's always those things that we always think, oh, hamare saath hi hota hai. It all happens with everyone. So, you know, I think that's the best part of this show.
Shared experience.
Yeah, I think the best part of this show for me has been the fact that we've been able to relate with so many couples, and I think that's a really admiring thing. Like, it's just so much fun to just talk about the similarities that we all have,
and then appreciate the differences.
Differences.
We all have those differences, and you know, before we wrap up this show, मैं अपने you know दोनों couples से पूछना चाहता हूँ, आप you know अपने हमारी जो audience है जो सुन रही है, you know, why should they vote for you, you know, for as the Mydream Valentine Couple of the Year 2021? So अपने audience को आप convince करने की कोशिश करो, और हम पहले सुमित और सोमन से सुन लेते हैं. You know, why should the audience vote for you?
Well, you know, you have the best couple here, so you should vote. A long time, you know, it's been 41 years plus another 7+ years together. Not find a couple ever anywhere.
Yeah. No, I think it was such an incredible story for you guys. You know, having met, you know, back in 1972 in Calcutta, you guys have gone through everything and so much, and you know, you've endured it together, and you've moved on positively and as a unit together, and you guys are going to continue to do that. So, you know, I love that about you guys. And so, Madhuri and Gaurav, you know, aapse bhi sunte hain, why should the audience vote for you guys as Mydream Valentine Couple of the Year 2021?
Yeah, I'll request everyone to vote, because I feel we really go along together. We understand, we challenge each other, not only daily life, but how to grow. और we feel we respect each other, and especially मैंने जब माधुरी ने मुझे मना किया था, तब मैंने उसके लिए 4 लाइनें लिखी थी, वो मैं आप सबको सुनाता हूँ. उसमें मैंने लिखा था कि दिन तेरे जिंदगी बस एक सफर की तैयारी सी लगी, हारी जंग की मेजबानी सी लगी, सूखे में दूध की जिंदगानी सी लगी, डूबते सूरज से कुछ और गर्मी उधार ले जानी सी लगी, और बर्फ के सफर में कुछ गर्मी की कहानी सी लगी.
Wow.
Is like everyday challenge. So I hope everyone will vote for us.
Yeah, I request everyone to vote for us. I feel like we are a cute couple, and enjoy a lot together, and share beautiful things together, and thank you.
No, I appreciate you know, both of the couples you know, addressing the audience and the viewers why they should vote for them. And you know, आप दोनों couples की कहानी, you know, अनोखी थी.
Before, I know I got it, because he got to say what he wants to say the audience.
आपसे नहीं हमने सुना, आपको भी तो मौका मिलना चाहिए.
Complete, yeah, that to me, life is a journey. Fulfill it. Life is a promise. No, face it. No, life is a journey. Face it. Life is a promise. Fulfill it. And life is a music. Play it.
Yeah. No, I think that those are very positive words to live by.
और सुमिता, आपने बताया था कि आप गाते भी हैं, तो क्या 2 लाइन आप गा सकते हैं हमारे लिए?
जरूर.
That would be it.
Sure. In fact, this song we always sing together when we are in a group. And it was, you know, I learned this ghazal from one of our top most teachers, who was a disciple of Meri Kahan. And we are singing those 2 lines, okay?
Yep.
And I start, and he can, you know, join. हमारे पास ना आओ, हमें डर लगता है, हमसे नजर न मिलाओ, हमें डर लगता है, हमारे पास न आओ, हमें डर लगता है.
Wow. Incredible.
That's beautiful.
to teach my student. He's going to come at 4 o'clock. I teach classical music. So, so
yeah, student के पास बहुत अच्छी teacher है. So
that was fantastic.
Yeah, that was fantastic. No, I appreciate you guys sharing that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and
Hey,
all of our
when will it be broadcast? Right? When will it be broadcasted?
It'll be broadcast. We'll send you the information for that.
Yeah.
Great.
No, definitely.
And before we leave, for the viewers, for sure, please make sure that you guys vote. The voting lines will open February 11th and will remain open until the 13th. So you guys can vote on www.mydreamtvusa.com. So please don't forget to vote. And before we end the show here, just like every week, we'd like to wrap up with just talking about the nonprofit organization that's really near and dear to Rishi and I's heart, which is Noah's Ark Society. Over the past few weeks, we've been working with local rescues, and obviously you know that this year our rescue is really focused on emptying out the shelters and making sure that the animals that are in the shelters have a home and have a place to go for them to get recovery and for them to get rescued and have a forever home. So for this week, what I'd like to focus your attention on is actually a success story. So over the past few weeks, we've been working with shelters, and you know, we've pulled so many dogs, and with the help of the community, we've been able to share one particular story that's really special to me, which the dog's name is Peter Pan. He's 2 years old, and 24 hours ago, he was actually on the list with 4 other dogs to be killed. And so we were able to pull him out. He's safe. He's in a foster home now. He's gone to the vet. He's perfectly fine. We have some medications on him. He's heartworm positive. So the foster home is taking good care of him. And if you're interested in his journey and what Noah's Ark Society does, and hear more success stories that we've been able to do with all of your guys' help, you know, with all of your guys' energy, you know, even if it's something as small as sharing our posts or just liking or visiting our website, you know, go ahead and do that, because every little bit matters. And I want to thank all of you guys who've been viewing and who've been following Noah's Ark Society. It's because of you that Peter Pan has a second chance. And it's because of you guys that, you know, our mission of being the voice for the voiceless and providing a home for the homeless has moved forward and is continuing. So thank you so much. If you guys have any questions or want to follow Noah's Ark Society, you can follow them on Facebook, on Instagram, and they also have a website, which is noahsarksociety.org. They also take donations. If you're interested in learning more about what we do, please go to those social media platforms and website and take a look. But with that, I think we would like to thank everyone for joining. We hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much to all of our guests. We really appreciate it. Yeah, us too. We had
we hope you guys had fun too.
A lot of fun with with both of you and Sumil and Smita. So thank you again, and thank you Mydream TV USA for this wonderful show and opportunity.
Absolutely.
And we want to Mydream Team USA that took hosting this kind of event.
Right.
And I really enjoyed, especially learning from the youngest couple to the oldest couple, you know, that we are, and life is full of learning.
It is.
और सबसे कुछ सीख सकते हैं. You know, you can learn from everyone.
From everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. We really had so much fun.
Sure. Thank you.